Margaret is Skype, and in today's video we're going to talk about jewelry appraisals. Do you need a jewelry appraisal? Certificates. What are appraisals? Certificates of authenticity. Travel appraisals. There's so many names on the market. Let's go through this really quick. Number one, do you need jewelry appraisal? We get this question asked all the time. A jewelry appraisal is the appraisal of the item that you either bought or it came with your item already from the company that you bought the item from. Jewelry appraisal has information about your ring, the cut and color, the grams, everything that is about your jewelry item. Maybe it's a diamond. In this case, we have a diamond certificate, and it also has all the information about your diamond. So a certificate is pretty much like the passport for your jewelry or for your diamond. Very simple. Now, some jewelry items from different stores come with the appraisal already. The reason for that is because the idea here is if you want to insure it, you need a jewelry appraisal in order to insure your ring or your earrings, okay? For example, at Magnons and Miami Jewels, we provide a certificate of authenticity with all our jewelry items. Our office it's a standard rule. No item will leave my site unless it is accommodated with a certificate. It gives a peace of mind to me and a peace of mind to my customers. Now, jewelry insurance. I know that a lot of my clients insure these items as part of their homeowner's insurance. Am I for it or am I against it? Homeowner's insurance is great. You may insure your items as part of the homeowner's insurance, but in my opinion, you are going to have a headache afterwards because once something happens, God forbid you do lose your ring, they do give a lot of troubles in recovering any funds. And at the same time, you have to understand that they cover the part if something happens at your home. So a flood, for example, I'm from Florida, so that's common. I don't know, damage, fire, whatever, anything that's part of home. So chances of something happening to your ring at home are also slim to none, okay? Because most of the times you lose a ring when you're somewhere, when you're traveling and so on and so forth. It doesn't always happen in your home. In this case, a home insurance would do absolutely nothing. Now, if you're considering using jewelry insurance that's not homeowner's insurance or an actual specialized insurance, they are about 10%, I believe. So if the ring is costing you $10,000, it's about $100 a year. It's not a lot, but at the same time, if this happens and you will lose your ring, they will also give you a headache. And this is just dealing with all the insurances. I'm sure you've dealt with insurance before. They will give you a couple of options. Option number one is if you wanted to remake this ring with one of their experts. Option number two, if they're going to cut you a check. Now, they don't usually cut a check for the full amount. This gets very tricky because they have their own experts at which point they will go through the system where they're going to reappraise and redetermine your value. I have seen this having poor outcome. For example, one of my clients' ring, she bought it for 10 grand. The appraisal was for 15. She got the insurance for 15,000 because the insurance value will have to come from the appraisal. So even if you bought your ring today for 10 grand and your insurance is for 15,000, you will have to insure your ring for $15,000. That's just the way the insurance works. So one, you may think it's great because you got a deal, but in reality, a lot of these appraisals are a little bit inflated. This is sort of the standard of the industry. I wouldn't say a lot, but most of the times they are inflated. There are some appraisals that are inflated on purpose. There are some unethical gemologists and gemological laboratories who would do that. For example, just to make you look like you're getting a good deal. You know, if you're coming to a store and they go, oh, this is only 8 grand and look at the insurance, it's $30,000. I would have a red flag because what they're trying to do is make you feel like you're getting a deal here. Okay, so in reality, you really have to shop around and look at whether you're actually getting a deal or not from different sides, not considering the appraisal. But let's come back to your situation with appraisal. One of our clients had bought the ring for 10 grand, the insurance for 15, they insured it for 15,000, and at the end they only got 7,000 back based on, I think, the market value today or something like that. At the end of the day, you really have to read what's in the policy of your insurance. Is it worth it or not? I don't know. If this is going to be a damage to you to recover this ring not having the insurance, then maybe it's worth it to pay $100 a year, for example. If you feel like, this is going to be okay if 5-10 years down the road you don't know what happens and this is not going to be that big of a damage, if it's 7 or 10,000 or 4,000, whatever you paid, then maybe it's okay not to insure it. Okay, some of our other clients who have bigger pieces, let's say $40,000 ring, of course that's a big dent if you do lose it, they either insure it or they have 2 rings. Okay, one is a travel ring and one is not. The travel ring is done with either moissanite or a lab-grown diamond. The natural diamond is only worn when they're they're at home, when they're at gatherings, and so on and so forth. That's another way. If you have a very expensive ring, most of our clients make exactly the same travel ring so that when they travel, they're not afraid of losing that ring, because it is not the ring that they paid 40 grand for. It's the placebo ring that they paid, let's say, $3,000 for. So if they do lose it, it's not that big of a dent. So something for you to consider. Jewelry insurance, am I for it? Again, I think that it's up to you whether it comes to making a dent or not for you. Now, travel insurance. What is a travel insurance? Travel insurance is when you travel, a lot of the times, people like jewelry stores would tell you, do you need travel insurance? And the reason you need a travel insurance is a lot of the times you need to prove that the ring is yours. So for example, if you are going to get engaged in another country, let's say in France, and you're taking this ring with you, when you're going to be traveling back from France, and it's going to be either in a bag or on her hand or whatever the case is, they might stop you at customs. We've had this happen before, and ask you, did you purchase this ring in France, for example? If you say no, I've purchased it in US or Canada or whatever you're from, they might ask you to prove that. Proving that is, the travel insurance is one of the ways that you can prove that you purchased that ring in your homeland. And the travel certificate is done with any laboratory, with any big store. If you walk into big stores that do offer appraisals, they can do a travel certificate for you. The travel certificate proves that your ring is from here and you did not purchase it in another country. So if you are planning to propose in another country, consider getting a travel certificate. They are done almost everywhere. You can search travel certificate on Google, and I'm sure you'll come up with someone who can get those done. Travel certificate will have parameters of your ring, like carat clarity, grams, the description of your ring, and the possible insurance value or not. It depends. Some travel certificates do, some don't, but in any case, it will be made in your name, and that's exactly what proves that you did get this certificate before you were traveling, so that ring was with you. Some of our clients who bring 18, 20 pieces, they go for a month to see their relatives, and they want to wear these pieces. They have been asked before on the way back, have you bought any pieces? And in order for them to say no, I have taken all these pieces with me from my home, here's all my travel certificates. And they have a travel certificate which either states all of those pieces, or they have a travel certificate for each item done, in order to prove to customs, if this question arises, that they have purchased these at their home and not in a new country. Because if you did purchase these at a new country, you know how the drill goes. You might have to pay something, some taxes, some duties, I don't know, but it has happened in the past. So if you are traveling with a lot of jewelry, you need a travel certificate. If you're planning to propose in another country with your girl, you're traveling with your girl, you also need a travel certificate. And this is one of those tricky situations where if you are traveling with your girl, there is a possibility always that you may get stopped and asked, what is that? Especially if you got your ring on you, I don't know, in your bag, in your package, if you haven't put that in the luggage that you gave away. So for those of you proposing in another country, beware that you may get into a situation where you would have to explain to customs what this ring in your pocket is, even though your girl is with you and you haven't proposed yet. We have had those cases with clients being stopped. So at that point, you just have to play it cool, either propose right there in the airport, or maybe to avoid that, go to the security first, leave your girl with the luggage and go, listen, I need to talk to them. So before you go through that, explain to them that I have a ring in my sweater or on me, and I kind of don't want her to know. We've had situations where both of these worked, but it's up to the discretion of the customs in order for you to, and then people that search you in order to go through with this okay or not. It's kind of a gamble at this point, but a travel certificate while you're traveling is always good. In terms of the jewelry, I think that it's good to have a jewelry appraisal anyway for all your items, just to stay up to date, just to know that they are valid and authentic, whether you bought something online or not. You can always get something appraised at big stores or any gemological laboratory. If you Google it, there are a lot of gemological laboratories that do just appraising, and that's it. The only thing I wanted to mention is if you're working with insurance and you're going to insure your ring, please be very careful about reading their fine print. We have had cases where insurance companies will only allow you to get a replacement. They will not give you a check. We've had cases where they will only allow you a replacement with their specialist. This is very scary because once you lose your ring, you now have to work with the person that they provide you. It's not that it's a bad thing. We don't know who they will provide you, but at the same time, it leaves leaves you that option of not being able to use your own jeweler. So if you have a jeweler that you trust, perhaps where you got that ring to begin with, insurance companies don't allow it. So make sure when you do sign a contract with a jewelry insurance company to insure your ring, they will allow you to use a different person should something happen and not their own person. Make sure that you talk to them and they will allow you to use your own jeweler to recreate your ring if need be. This is very important. It's Margarita Skype, and I hope you learned something new. I'll see you in another episode.